What is up guys, I'm doing a giveaway of a brand new Nintendo Switch at 500 subscribers. Make sure to like and comment to increase your chances of winning.
IT workers, what is the most ridiculous your IT? You have to fix this request you've received.
One of my first jobs was in the 90s. I was senior IT admin for a medium-sized company. And on my day off, the CEO called. I had to get in cause the mail wasn't working and also the banking software didn't work. This CEO was primarily responsible for the financial department, so especially this last part was hurting him. When I came in, said CEO was really flaming, basically burning the entire IT department of 3 PPL as being incompetent, overpaid fuck-ups, and all the loss of business revenue should come out of our pockets, etc. etc. So during this lovely tirade, I come in, and in a few seconds I realize we have a problem with the internet connection. Keep in mind, these were the 90s, so we had a dual ISDN connection and a dial-up modem connected it. I run a few tests, and instead of the common modem sounds, I hear some low-res voice on the line. I connect a regular phone to it, listened to it, and then gave it to the CEO saying, "It's for you." After that, the CEO said nothing, and used his own mobile to manage the finances. What did the ISDN phone say? "Due to not paying you bloody bill, this line is disconnected. If you want to reinstate this service you have to pay execs plus admin costs, etc. etc. Quote, I went home after that with a very big grin, and started looking for another job. Years ago I worked for a rather large ISP as a tech lead. A residential DSL customer called in demanding to speak to a supervisor because his internet was down and he was going to miss out on some multi-million-dollar deal if he couldn't get on the internet. He kept yelling at me throughout the call and demanded I fix it immediately. While troubleshooting the issue I could see that I couldn't reach the DSLAM his connection ran through. I advised him I would have to reach out to a dispatch center to have a tech go take a look at it. At some point he informed me that on his way home he saw that a vehicle had run off the road into one of our boxes and it had caught fire. He still said he was planning on suing our company if he wasn't able to be online to make this supposed deal of his. I passive-aggressively suggested he go to a Starbucks and wished him well with the lawsuit.
Lady called to report her monitor wasn't working. After troubleshooting and asking her multiple times if everything was plugged in, she finally pipes up that the monitor doesn't have the light on. The monitor wasn't plugged in and she wanted me to wake a guy up at 3 a.m. to do it because she was dressed too nicely to do it herself because she was preparing for a meeting at 6 a.m. Told her to do it herself because I was not about to wake up the on-call for that. She complained to our director and he literally laughed at her and her reasoning for wanting the on-call sent out, and she is now banned from calling in.
Had a lady executive use her laptop bag as a wheel chalk when her husband changed her tire. She ran over it. She brought it to us and said, "Make this work. I have a presentation in an hour." Then left. We took it out of the bag and it was U-shaped. We laughed at the situation. There was nothing we could do. The hard drive was even crushed. She came back and screamed at us for our incompetence while demanding another laptop. Her third in 6 months. Our team lead took the laptop to the VP of Technology. He brought her down to our office and made her apologize and told us she did not get any more laptops. If she wanted to work on the weekends she had to come into the office. She was fired for sexually harassing a 17-year-old intern. His dad was a senior VP. Edit. Spelling.
Drove for 2 hours to replace a touchscreen monitor that had stopped responding. Turns out they were wearing gloves. We used to log these type of callouts as ID 10 errors.
The power went out in our building and the owner of the company wanted to know what we were doing to get the computers up.
Posted this before, but I was a remote tech and had a woman call me and wanted me to drive 6+ hours to her facility to turn on her computer, because hitting the power button was not her job. Got a call to remove a plug on a radio and push the wire through a small vent in the cabinet, because the wire was unsightly. I did this while 15 executives watched. None of them knew how to change a plug, and had never even seen the inside of one. But because it had a wire, it was its responsibility. I work in web development, maintenance. I got a call from a client who was absolutely livid when I told her that she could not take the hyperlink text from her web page, transfer it over to their print ad, and still have it function like a link. I was asked to fix a cabinet once. I don't mean like a server rack or anything. I mean a literal wooden cabinet with shelves and stuff. Edit. I was once also asked to fix an old oscilloscope that was out of warranty. It was running embedded Windows, so I could at least sort of see their thought process on that one. But it was still a no. One place I worked, it was pretty much if it got electricity, it was its issue. We had to fix the water fountain that wouldn't stop running. We had to fix the coffee machine. Once had a person call into the IT desk because the soda machine stole their money. I was working as a developer at a Navy contract. One morning, a Navy captain walked up to my desk. "You're Roman?" Quote. "Yes, sir. How can I help you?" Quote. "I got a virus in my email, so I forwarded it to you. But, why?" Quote. "Well, I didn't want it in my inbox. But, quote. Was it supposed to go to somebody else?" Quote. "You, could have deleted it or notified the IT guys across the hall who deal with that type of stuff, sir." "Well, you're IT, right?" Quote. Sigh. I do IT at a hospital. My first year, in March, I get called to the surgery department. They explain they can't open images from their medical records on one particular computer. As I'm clicking about, I manage to get it fixed. File association error. And the next image I try to open is a full-on colonoscopy. Just an extreme close-up of an elderly patient's weird, damaged bunghole. For the rest of the month, I get teased by the entire surgical staff. "Hey, wanna come work on our computers? Hey, wanna come look at our surgery today?" Quote. April Fool's Day rolls around. Surgery department calls. "Hey, we're having a problem with one of our colonoscopy cameras. Come take a look." "Yeah, sure," I said. It's April Fool's. You aren't getting me that easy. "No, really. It's messed up. Come take a look." "Yeah, sure. I'll get right down there." So I saunter down there slowly, taking my time, knowing I'm walking into a prank of some kind. I get there and the ward nurse is making me suit up and scrub in. I'm like, "Props, you guys. You're really pulling out all the stops for this prank." Nope. Walk into the surgical theater. Patient is asleep. Anus exposed. Camera up ass. Doctor starting at me, looking visibly upset. "Where the hell have you been?" Quote. Anyway, I fixed the camera. Edit. Instead of saying, "Thanks for the gold, kind stranger, how about I ask you to go watch this stupid video where I made an AI write a Nickelback song." https youtube.be/_ogtap83 nah. Thanks. I'm not IT, but I have to support our product for 1 week intervals periodically. The worst call went like this. Answers phone. "Hi, company name. Off hour support. Can I help you?" Quote. "It's not working." Quote. Okay. What's not working?" Quote. The thing. It doesn't work at all." Quote. "Okay. What are you trying to do when it errors?" Quote. "It just crashes when I try to use it." Quote. I wound up needing to walk her through every single step from opening our website, logging into the portal, which icon they click, opening Citrix, the utility they use within our program, etc., just to determine where the problem was occurring. I'll start. One time somebody at a company asked me, "Why isn't the microwave working? You're in IT after all. Fix it." Quote. I thought they were joking, But after a bit of deliberation, they were either serious or very committed to the role. Our IT help desk, before it was renamed the support desk, eventually ended up keeping fluorescent tubes and whiteboard markers in stock because people would send complaints to the CEO that we were refusing to help when we asked them to contact the office manager for these things. The flip side is that the CEO eventually created a new email address for people to send complaints directly to him. Very few people knew that this special CEO complaints email address actually got forwarded to the office manager. People have the capacity for such unimaginable greatness and such hard-to-believe stupidity. I was personally once reported for sabotaging a specific secretary by refusing to fix her printer. It was printing garbage. Turns out she installed an Epson color printer driver from the disk that came with her friend's new color printer on her Win95 computer so that her mono HP DeskJet printer would also print color. She reported me the third time I uninstalled the bad driver and asked her not to do it again. I worked for an online college and a student wanted me to change his username. It was Goatbugger. A couple simple ones. I got called in to repair a broken printer. The guy was pretty livid as he was trying to print in a hurry. Turns out it ran out of paper. Even worse, I had my boss lose his shit on me that his computer didn't work and made the comment that nothing ever works around here, hinting that I failed at my job. I went into his office and found that he didn't turn it on. I pushed the power button and all I got was an O. IT support has to be one of the worst jobs. Stupid ass people. And anytime something like a mouse battery dies, you're a POS. Previous IT for a US-based online bank. The sheer amount of calls regarding unsupported devices or user error that customers considered my fault were staggering. We had to accept and troubleshoot every call regardless and would guess at most 15% of calls ended up being an actual tech issue rather than pub chat. Problem exists between chair and keyboard. My favorite, though, was a man cursing up a storm that he was taking his business elsewhere. He was traveling and his mobile device did not allow access to our site. He had also apparently bought at least 5 that the previous rep had failed to make work phones from a street vendor before calling tech. He refused to allow me to go over the basics, like OS and providers, and kept saying, "Just do your job." After at least half an hour, but probably longer, I finally was allowed to start with the basic steps. One of the first questions was OS and provider, all of which were 10 years out of date or were names unfamiliar to me in my list of supported devices. Frustrated, this man complained about where he was stuck unable to access his online bank. I don't remember the exact location, but I do remember my sadistic glee. This man was vacationing in an OFAC-sanctioned country. Basically, he was vacationing somewhere like N, Korea or the RFC that the US has issued sanctions against, and our policy did not allow his card or online access in that country. His response? "I don't care. Fix it." Thankfully, after another half hour of me explaining I could not change security policy or the fact he was in a blocked country, he escalated to my supervisor, which made it no longer my problem.